All right. Hello, good evening, all of you. So I hope my voice is audible to you. And you all have joined here for a particular purpose. Okay. So before we start further, so I would like to give a brief introduction about myself as well as the reason why we have gathered here, right? So I would appreciate if one of you can confirm in the chat that you can hear me and see me clearly. So I'm waiting for one of the confirmations. Yes, thank you very much. So I'm getting the confirmation that, right, so you can hear me. That's good. Okay, fine. So since this is our first meeting, okay, and so we are going to meet quite often from now on, okay, and before we start with anything, so I just give you a brief introduction about the whole thing. Okay, so I am Harish. Okay, and I am a certified trainer from British Council, and also the Cambridge Examiner for BEC exams, Business English Communication. All right. And I am also been trained and certified by Pearson's also. Okay. So that's my background, and I have been training individuals and also professionals in improving their communication skills at all the levels, the elementary, intermediate, and advanced. Okay, so that's my primary job, and we in fact have our own establishment, a company or a firm, as you call it. Okay, that's Akanksha E-Learning Solutions. Okay, we have our office in Bangalore. All right. And we do actually train people across the globe on various visa exams also, plus the business English as well as corporate English programs where we, in fact, hone or improve the communication skills of professionals from different areas. So far, we have had many corporate projects and have trained people, okay, across different sectors. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone, again. So, those who have joined a little later, okay, I'm Harish, and I am here for a specific purpose today, right? As Miss Malti has, told all of us, it's kind of a special purpose where we will discuss English language, okay, like that. So when I say English language, you see that there are many questions or the kind of prejudiced things which come up, in all our minds. And I know that, like most of you belong to different parts of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and even Chhattisgarh also. Okay, and we see that English has become something really important for all of us, right? And I hope that you all agree with me, right? So anything that you want to say, you can always chat in the comment section. Okay, you feel free to ask me any questions or anything that you want to say. Okay, because we are here to talk, of course, and we would make sure that we would make the best out of it in terms of improving our communication skills. Okay, well, wonderful. Okay, so to start with, when this, we discussed about this program. Okay, I was told that you all work in different branches of schools, okay, of Jain Group of Institution, which is a renowned one in India, and I was quite fascinated to, you know to train teachers on this particular aspect. Okay, to tell you the fact, I myself was the teacher in the secondary schools for almost 7 to 8 years of my initial career, right? So I know how it is to be a teacher, and the bonding with the kids, and how the current generation is totally different from what we were as kids. I and you all, right? I hope you agree with me, right? So that's one thing which really attracted me to this job, and I told Miss Malti and Miss Santosh also that I would be really looking forward to meet you all guys, and I wanted to kind of share all the things that I know about English, okay, and help you speak better, okay, and also make sure that you take the maximum benefit out of the discussions that we're going to do, like that, going further, okay. So trust me, it is going to be something really interesting that you would take away each session from what we're going to discuss from the coming weeks, like that, okay. And before I come in to the actual objectives of the program and all that, so I also wanted to kind of understand. So I know that you all cannot speak in the form of audio. That's why I preferred Zoom, but it had some limitations. Okay. So, but now you can always chat here in the comment section. Okay. See, when we say English, one thing that might come to all of your mind is that, well, I am speaking English, so what's wrong with it? I mean, I'm already speaking, or I'm already using it, like that. Okay. You may have that question, for the matter of fact, and all of us feel that way, right? It's quite common, so don't worry about it. Okay. However, as you know, like any aspect of life, we always have room for improvement. Basically, there is always a scope to learn something new. Okay. Each day, maybe it's English or something else. Maybe the subjects that you're teaching, even there, we have a lot of things that we can learn, right? I hope you agree with me. So, with that aspect, we thought like, okay, we would be able to come together, on the weekends, and every weekend we would come together and discuss things which are really crucial in order to improve our communication here. So, when I say communication or English communication, what's really important here? So we speak English, no problem with that. But there are two things: one, communication; another thing is effective communication. Okay, these are two completely different things, like that, if you agree with me. Yeah. Where when we say effective communication, it basically falls into the category of making people understand what we are trying to say here. Or maybe, let's say, on daily basis you talk to your colleagues, and even kids for that matter, okay. And while you teach, or while you talk to your colleagues, or maybe even if you're doing the office job, right, the non-teaching office jobs, the administration job, so no matter what is your work front, communication, the effective communication has become really important, like that. Sometimes we want to say something, okay, uh, but the way we want to communicate it is there in our mind, like, I know that I want to say this, okay, but maybe because of the use of a different word, or maybe not so suitable word we use, maybe the meaning goes out completely different. Okay, so I hope you agree with me, and you might have experienced it most of the times, right? So, this is one aspect that we are going to cover up, like that. I'll tell you how it is going to work, right? See, basically, this problem can be solved when we know the variety of language like that. So, not only English language, any language has many different varieties in its expression, and English is also not totally different from it. Okay, so let's say, let me give you some examples here. So, when I say, "How are you?" So, you know this expression already, which is a very common one. So, when you say, "How are you?" So it how are you itself has many different varieties, and if we know more of these varieties, it would always make it convenient for us. Like for example, I can say, "How are you?" Maybe I can say, "How do you do?" Or maybe I can say, "What are you up to?" Or maybe I say, "How have you been?" Right? Or maybe informally I can say, "How is life?" Okay. Or when I talk to my friend, or maybe my cousins or somebody like that in a casual atmosphere, so we say, "What's up?" Right? So all these are basically the different varieties of expressing "How are you?" Correct? You all agree with me? Okay. And for the same expression, when you have to tell something to somebody, so maybe when somebody asks you, "How are you?" or how have you been?" Now, "What are you up to?" Maybe you have to give a reply to them. So usually we say, "I'm fine," or "I'm good." Okay. Or maybe we can say, "Well, nothing as usual," or "Nothing great." Or maybe we can say, "Well, it could have been better." Okay. Or "It couldn't be better," like that. So you see that there are so many varieties that we in fact have in the language part. Okay. So that's the very important thing here. And when we in fact know that, okay, these varieties exist, and if we can use it, so basically, you would be able to communicate effectively like that. I'm just giving you very basic examples here so that you understand what exactly I meant when I say that it is the variety in English, right? So, this is one aspect which is important here. Okay. All right. Now, that is all the program is all about. Okay. So, we are going to meet for about 50 hours in total. Okay. And we would ensure that you would enhance your communication skills. Okay. To the effective level. Okay. No matter whatever level that you are in. So there are basically three different levels that we categorize the whole thing in. So one thing is elementary. We call it as elementary. Maybe elementary, as you understand, it is basic. Okay, that's the basic level that we understand. Next level is intermediate level. Okay, intermediate level. So basic level, what happens in basic level is we would be able to reply or talk to people using simple structures. Okay, simple sentences or maybe simple structures, and we would be able to give very basic replies to people. Okay, it could be everyday talks that we do, maybe in words, maybe in short phrases that we talk, maybe in small sentences also. That is the basic level here. Intermediate level is again different. Okay, intermediate level is where intermediate level is slightly the higher level after the basic level. Okay, this categorization helps us understand to categorize things better, and how much I have learned and how much I need to learn more. Okay, so this is the second level, the intermediate level, which is the next level. where you, in fact, have to kind of understand how extended sentences have to be used here. Okay, extended long sentences. So you may ask me why the sentences have to be longer. So you say it has to be achieved in order to improve our fluency here. The fluency means the continuity of speech. Okay, the more fluent we are, the more people love to listen to us. Imagine talking in small sentences. You stop every now and then, like a passenger train. So the listener would be easily bored, because it's so repetitive, and the listener won't feel quite interested to talk to you like that. But rather, when you use this fluency, or when you achieve a greater fluency, you are more confident, and you would also use the language quite effectively. So this is the next level, okay, that we're talking about: elementary and intermediate levels. Okay, this is one aspect like that. And when we think of English language communication, the first thing that comes up in our mind, or the taboo, as I can tell, is grammar, right? So we straight away think of grammar, where, types of nouns, types of verbs, tenses, blah 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 blah. There are many things like that. So trust me, uh, grammar is, as in a subject, is very boring. Okay, so if you try to learn grammar as a subject or a topic, or maybe try to understand formulas and all that, trust me, it doesn't work. Maybe if it works, maybe temporarily, you may get bored of it very easily, because it's a very bland topic like that. Okay, so we will touch upon it. There's no doubt about it. However, it's not everything. Grammar is not the only thing in English that has to be learned. There are so many other things. Like, you have vocabulary, you have formal and informal English, the difference between these two. This is really important. When you talk to your colleagues, and maybe your principal, or maybe the manager, or somebody from your organization who is at the next level of position, so how do you talk to them? That's really important, how professional you are when you talk to them. Similarly, maybe when you talk to your friends, or maybe when you talk to a stranger, or maybe your neighbors, maybe in that case, how do you use the casual English? Okay, so that difference has to be understood, most importantly. So this is another aspect. Okay, and not only that, you see, uh, we have another aspect which is very important here, which we mostly neglect. That is vocabulary. You see, vocabulary means the words, the kind of words that we use is really important here. Okay, the more we know them, the better we can speak with people. Trust me, the more words you know, the more confident you are like that. Okay, suppose you say, you want to say, I am fine. Okay, what are the other ways that I can say that I'm fine? So I'm like, nice to meet you, you say, for example, right? Nice to meet you. So what are the other ways? You say, nice to meet you, glad to meet you, pleased to meet you, pleasure to meet you. Okay, so you see, there's so many varieties just for the word nice, like that. Nice to meet you, same thing. Glad to meet you, same thing. Pleased to meet you, same thing. Okay, happy to meet you, same thing. But when you meet somebody who is at a greater position, or maybe who is elderly to you, or maybe who has a good position, or power, so then you tell them like, pleasure to meet you, sir, like that. You see, that word changes the whole thing. So it has to be used according to the situation. This is very important, like that. Okay. So to get exposed to these things, we need to know more words, the contextual vocabulary, like that. So when I say vocabulary, you may ask me one thing like, how do I improve it? This is a common question that I get almost every day from my students. So we can't mug up the whole dictionary and say that yes, I know all the words now. That is impossible, right? I hope you all agree with me. That's not possible. Okay, so we have to always improvise it in the form of contexts, a particular situations, contexts, like that, right? That's how it's going to be ideally, right? So we are going to improve it through different contexts, and on daily basis in our sessions, we're going to choose situations that are from our everyday life, professional and personal, both. Okay, this is another aspect, right? Grammar is one aspect, of course. Okay, and knowing the difference between the formal and informal communication, yes, this is again another most important thing. And the third thing is vocabulary, like that. So what kind of word that I'm trying to use here, so this is also important, like that, right? And the fourth thing, there is something fourth thing which is also mostly neglected by most of the English learners, is that the kind of intonation or the voice rhythm that I use here is really important when I talk to people, because what kind of emotion that I'm expressing. So am I expressing happiness or surprise, or whether you're expressing something that is unbelievable to you? Okay, or maybe when you're expressing or you are really phrasing somebody. Okay, because when you talk to kids or children, okay, so it's really important that you're very expressive, because as you know, kids are really expressive no matter what age they are in. Okay, from the younger classes to the even adolescent classes, so they are very expressive, and they pick you up from the teachers quite faster, like whatever the teacher uses. So the expressions are easily adopted by the kids, like that. So you have to use the best form of English. So trust me, that is what we're going to do, like that. So the best form of English, which you can definitely learn from it. Okay, so that's the main idea here. Okay, right? So this is one thing, that is. So four different aspects. Okay, grammar is of course one of the aspects. Okay, second thing is the formal and informal expressions of language. Okay, this is one aspect that we're going to see. Third thing is again the most important one, as I said, the vocabulary part, the kind of words that we do, okay, or we use. Like sometimes kids use certain words which we may not be sure about the meaning of, and maybe we really have to come back to them to give that reply or answer, like that. So if you are well equipped, okay, to answer them or talk to them, so your level of confidence would be more, and your students would always look up to you if they need something. And I know, oh yes, my teacher speaks really fluent and proficient English, so let me go to her. I know she is my role model or he is my role model, like that. You see, that's the effect English has these days, basically, right? So that's exactly what we are going to do in these programs. Okay, and as I said earlier, maybe trust me, I'll just repeat it again. Uh, it is going to be completely interactive and interesting sessions about English. Okay, we would do different situational based activities on maybe we would interact, we would do group discussions, We would do role plays, we would do presentations, impromptu speakings. Trust me, everything that is possible to make it interesting. Okay. And you would never get bored of it. Okay. And at the same time, as I said, every time you come up to the session, you would learn something new. Okay. That's my promise. And you can use it for the rest of your career. All right. And the best part again is that you can use it in your professional and personal life. So this is going to be a beneficiary thing like that. As you know, like any place, whether it's metropolitan cities or cosmopolitan cities or tier two or tier three cities, in all these places, irrespective of any geographical area, English has become a very important aspect like that, especially the schooling part. Okay, it has become really important. Okay, that's something which we're going to discuss. Yeah. Okay, and we are going to design it in such a way that even after the sessions, like once we discuss something, we can always keep in touch. Like once the session is over, let's say we are building up a particular path where you can continue to ask me the questions or the doubts or clear the things up. Okay, so that you can start using it. Okay, so that's another way which is going to benefit you. The only thing from your side as a requirement that I request to all of you is show interest in the class 100%. That's the thing. That's all I need. Your attention and your interest and the eagerness to learn more and more. That hunger should never die like that. So once the session is over, even the questions should ring in your mind, like, oh yes, I have this doubt, or you see some new word, you're roaming around in the city, and you see a new word, like, oh, what is this word? Okay, let me just ask. Okay, right? So all the doubts you have to kind of clear at any cost and make sure that you make the best use out of this program, and also ensure that any kind of practice that I ask you to do, please do it. Okay, I am going to shoot particular or specific videos and audio files for you, and I'm going to share it with you all, so which you can use for your lifetime. Okay, and definitely, the more you listen to them or the more you use them, you are going to be a proficient speaker of English. That's my promise, 100% from my side. Okay. Well, yeah. So far, I have covered the four different elements that we are going to cover up in this program. And second thing, I also told you how important it is. Okay. And not only that, I also explained to you what you have to do as an individual, what is required from your side. Okay, from me. That's another thing that I have explained it to you. That's how the program is going to be. Okay, and since we're going to meet uh, twice in a week, okay, both on Saturdays and Sundays, the whole week from Monday to Friday, all these 5 days would be the days where you give a thorough practice to what we had discussed in the previous week. This is very important. Okay. And when you come back to the next session, you come up with a lot of questions. So this is something that I love to do, where the more questions you ask me, the happier I am like that. Because when you ask me more questions, I am sure that you are learning and you are taking the maximum benefit out of it, like that. Okay, so that's how it's going to be. I'm really quite excited about the whole thing because, as I told you, I belong to the same profession and I have seen it myself for the 7 8 years of my initial career, and I know how each day used to be, very exciting. I used to go to school to see my kids. Every day I want to teach them something and to see them grow. Okay, by knowing things better each day, like that. It's a wonderful profession. I would consider this as okay, and since we all are in the same boat, it's easy to sail together, like that. Okay, hope you agree with me, right? And that's what I wanted to say. Okay, and the rest of the things, as I told Miss Malti, like, since I'm meeting you, all of you people, for the first time, I really don't know at this stage to what extent you are using the language, and where I need to start from, how much you already know, and all that. So I need to know those things also. Okay, for that reason, what we have planned is initially, like, I would want you all to kind of attend a very small diagnostic test. That is from my understanding. Okay, which would in fact give me an idea, like, how the things are and from where I need to start the sessions from. Okay, and to the what level I need to start from. Okay, and how I need to take the things forward, like that, because uh, I just don't want to do the knowledge transfer. I don't want to do just that. It's not that. Okay, whatever I know, I would tell it to you. It's not like that. Okay, maybe most of it is already known to you. Mostly, I don't know. Okay, so that's why we would ensure that we would make it so interactive that you come up with a couple of things, I come up with a couple of things, together we make it happen where uh, we kind of go to the next level while enjoying the whole thing that we do, because your time is very precious. Okay, and same here, where my efforts that I'm putting have to be kind of useful for you. So that's how it is. So both of us are, using or utilizing our Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, that's why, it has to meet its set objectives, and I would want to ensure that each one of you would excel in this particular proficiency of language. Okay, and most importantly, you would feel more confident and at the same time joyful to use this language, especially with the kids as well as the colleagues or maybe the other superiors in your workstations. Okay, that's the overall objective of this program. Okay, and uh, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, and fine. Yeah, what else? Mm, I think that's it, right? So if you have something to say, just let me know. You can always type in the chat if you want to ask me something or and all that. I've mostly covered everything. Okay, going further, we would cover up more things. Okay, so don't worry if you miss out on something here. Don't worry. Okay, we will cover it up later. Okay, and yeah, I think that's it. So going further, I'm very eager to meet you all, guys, and ensure that we work towards betterment of English. That's all. Okay. Just hold on for a second. Yes, madam. Yeah. All right. Okay. That's all then. So I would sign off. Okay. And very soon we are going to be again together. Okay. Right. Have a great weekend ahead. And I hope you enjoyed this session as well. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. All right. Okay, then. So, and probably next weekend we would have our diagnostic test. Okay. And Malti Madam would give you more details about it. Okay. I'll share with her and she would share it with you. Okay. And post that, we would begin our journey together. All right. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend again. Thank you.